Okay. Good afternoon. We'll now start. First of all, I'd like to welcome everybody to this pep talk this afternoon. Please mute yourself, but always show your video picture. Sign in your name, your Facebook account, or email address in the chat box. Please include the names of companions attending with you. Use the chat box to ask questions and make comments while the pep talk is on. There will be group pictures at start and end of the pep talk, so please show your face in the video. As a reminder also, obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a free voucher for a RO host on medical consultation, either face-to-face or telemedical. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the pep talk proper in 2 minutes. Please turn on your video now. Get set. Ready? 1, 2, 3. I have a patient empowerment program in which I like to empower the lay people or patients to take control in the management of their health. I started the pep talk on May 15, 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are 3 courses in the pep talk. I completed the core course on October 9, 2021. Then from October 23, 2021 onwards, I've been tackling health disorder and health issue courses. We are now on our 222 pep talk. May 17, 2025 marks the start of year number 5 for the RO host on pep talk. How long the pep talk will last will depend on the enthusiasm, discipline, and perseverance of everybody, you and me. My pep talk today is entitled, because of the New Year Eve's approaching, beware of New Year Eve's health dangers. The empowerment objective is for the lay people to have an essential understanding of the New Year's Eve health dangers in their health management. The content of this pep talk will be the following: definition of New Year's Eve, common health dangers during the New Year Eve celebration, prevention of common health dangers during the New Year Eve celebration, prevention of vehicular accidents related to alcohol intoxication. This is one of the health dangers. Prevention of physical injuries from quarrels and disagreement usually related to alcoholic intoxication again. Prevention of abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome, prevention of heart syndrome, prevention of firecracker and gunfire injuries. Then we'll be discussing first aid management of firecracker injuries and prevention of burn injuries, and then first aid management of burn injuries. As a disclaimer, this talk will contain my thoughts, perceptions, opinions, and recommendations or TPORs culled from my personal experiences as well as from the writings of other health professionals. Let's start with the definition of New Year's Eve. I suppose everybody know this. New Year's Eve is the night of December 31 and the morning of January 1. Okay. Paki-mute lang ho. Paki-mute. Hello. Mute. Okay. So New Year's Eve is the night of December 31 and the morning of January 1. But when we talk about health dangers during this time, it can be plus or minus December 31 or January 1. Usually even before December 31, because that's the start of the celebration for the change in the new of the year. In New Year's Eve, many people celebrate the end of the previous year and the beginning of a new year in various countless ways. And these celebrations, if not done with caution, usually lead to various health dangers which are usually preventable. Common health dangers during the New Year celebrations will be the following. In the Philippines, these the more common ones are the following: vehicular accidents related to alcoholic intoxication, physical injuries from quarrels and disagreements, usually again from lasing or related to alcoholic intoxication, abdominal gastrointestinal syndromes, usually from the eating, from the excessive eating, and then heart syndrome and heart attack, usually also coming from the alcoholic intoxication, and firecracker injuries because of the practice of uh, burning or firing firecrackers, and even gunshot, gunfire injuries. Then all of the firecracker injuries and gunfire injuries usually result in burn injuries. Okay. So prevention of common health dangers during New Year's Eve celebration. The best way to prevent these New Year health dangers will be to first know what they are, okay, and what are their usual causes and how to prevent. It's relatively easy, not so difficult. So prevention of vehicular accident related to alcoholic intoxication. The best way to prevent it just to avoid alcoholic intoxication. So just drink alcohol in moderation, or better still abstain from alcohol if you cannot avoid it. Then don't drive. Don't drive after drinking alcohol. Okay? Kahit na konti lang, mag-drive ng car. So be wary of this danger. Vehicular accidents secondary to alcohol intake. Ito ay common health problems in the Philippines. Prevention of physical injuries from quarrels and disagreements. Madalas nangyayari yan because of pasayahan, because pikunan, no? Then also related to alcoholic intoxication. Again, try to avoid alcoholic intoxication, which is the root cause of everything here. Drink alcohol in moderation, or better still, abstain from alcohol. Don't quarrel after drinking alcohol. Then if you have to quarrel, just control your temper. And then don't inflict injuries during quarrel or disagreement. So be wary of this danger, physical injuries from quarrels and disagreements secondary to alcohol intake. Prevention of abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome. Okay. So this is a word, the phrase that I just coined by myself just to lump together to include abdominal discomfort and pain, no, masakit ang tiyan, no, masama ang pakiramdam sa sikmura, sa tiyan, no, with gastrointestinal symptoms like nausea, vomiting, okay, aside from the pain, and then diarrhea. These are the more common symptoms that are associated with abdominal pain. Okay. The syndrome is caused by food intake, of course, usually the amount, usually excessive, masyadong marami, and then the quality, because of the uncertainty of the quality of food, minsan spoiled or too oily or intolerable to some persons, no, etc. So it may be caused by food poisoning, food indigestion, food intolerance, allergy, gastroenteritis, and pancreatitis, all of which are not easy to differentiate at the time that somebody is suffering from abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome. Mahirap sa i-differentiate all three. That's why we just lump them into that particular entity called abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome. So prevention, the basic recommendation is to avoid eating too much. No? Eat in moderation, then concentrate on just enjoying the taste of the foods rather than the quantity. Kasi tayo karamihan, we keep on eating and eating, no? Concentrating on the amount rather than on the quality. Be careful with what you eat. Make sure that they are not spoiled or quick to spoil, not usually tolerated before. Pag di nyo may history na kayo, di nyo nahiyang, huwag na nyo kainin. And not allergic to you. No? Yung mga may history of allergy to, let's say, shrimps, to alimango, etc. The fourth one is prevention of heart syndrome and attack. A 2018 study shows the risk of heart attacks increased significantly during the winter holiday season. This is in America as well as in Europe. Okay. During a 15-year period, the Swedish researchers discovered the chance of a heart attack were 15% higher than usual on Christmas. So nagtataka sila, bakit mas mataas ang heart attack during this time? 37% higher on Christmas Eve and 20% higher on New Year's Day. So pinakamataas doon sa Christmas Eve, 37%, and then 20% higher on New Year's Day. So this is documented. No? So what is the holiday heart syndrome? The syndrome occurs when patients develop an abnormal heart rhythm called atrial fibrillation, okay, a rhythm disorder of the upper chambers of the heart during which time the upper chambers lose the mechanical function and does not contract. So sa heart, may apat na chambers yon, may upper and dalawang upper, dalawang lower. So yung atrium, okay, atrial or atrium, yun ang may problema doon when you have atrial fib. Okay. So doctors coined the term holiday heart syndrome after noticing an increase in instances of this condition related to or caused by heavy holiday drinking, mostly due to heavy drinking. So the alcohol can trigger episodes of atrial fib or an irregular heartbeat. It is important to note that holiday heart syndrome is one specific condition linked to heavy drinking. However, there are other factors that can cause heart-related health concern. Just if you have previously you have heart conditions that can also trigger kahit na konti lang ininom mo o baka a little excess, yan nag-trigger ng holiday heart syndrome. But ang pinaka-common cause nito, yung sobrang dami ang iniinom ng alcohol. So what else might increase the cardiac event during the winter, the holiday season? Emotional stress. Kung talagang stress emotionally, okay. So it can be a stress due to family gatherings or financial pressure, yung mga year-end, baka depressed o konti lang kinikita during the year. Okay. Then overindulgence, poor eating habit, and high salt intake can exacerbate chronic heart conditions such as heart failure and chronic high blood pressure. Yung sobrang daming kain, no? Delayed treatment. Let's say you have already originally you have some heart predisposition to heart disease, hindi niyo pinatingin kagad. And then there's a delay in seeking treatment during the because holidays next year na lang, ganon, no? So this may play a part in the prevalence of cardiac events, no? And what are the tips to reduce the holiday heart syndrome? So it's expected to enjoy the holidays with food, family, and fun. But the thing is, don't overdo it. No? Do it in moderation. So don't drink too much. Don't binge drink. Avoid too much of caffeine. Avoid ninyo. Watch your salt intake because this will affect the heart. And then a little, may exercise pa rin during the holidays. No? So everyone should be mindful of the alcohol consumption and general overindulgence during the holidays, whether or not they have pre-existing heart condition or a family history of the heart disease. So, so beware of may konting enjoyment pero eat in moderation and drink in moderation. No? Prevention of firecracker and gunfire injuries. There are usually three types of fire injuries during the New Year Eve. Itong klaseng fire injuries. One is the firecracker injuries. Another one is injuries from indiscriminate firing of guns to the sky and house fires. House fires. So with this, I will start with explaining house fires, then gunfire injuries, and then firecracker injuries. Ito yung isang census survey that was done before. Okay. So, December 21, 2022, okay, 2022, 2023, ang pinaka-common problems ito is you have ignition caused by fireworks and pyrotechnics explosions, common cause. So 2023, ganun pa rin. I suppose 2024, the data are still the same. Even okay. So prevention of house fire injuries. Avoid direct contact with ignition from fireworks and firecrackers. So especially those who have a roof which are very flammable. So water the roof if it's made of flammable materials during the New Year Eve if there is no rain, particularly kung walang ulan, pero kadalasan umuulan na ngayon, di ba? So, pero pag walang ulan, basain na lang yung roof, no? Para hindi masunog, no? The Bureau of Fire Protection has consistently advised the public to exercise caution and adhere to the following preventive measures to avert fires during the New Year Eve festivities. Always attend to lighted candles. Do not leave them burning without supervision. Stay vigilant when cooking and never leave it unmonitored. Refrain from incinerating wrapping papers, cartoons, and other rubbish in the fireplace. Inspect your electrical cords of any signs of wear and ensure the plugs are secured. Disconnect electrical devices when planning to be away from home, especially those who go out of town. Then avoid overburdening your home electrical system. Mga octopus. Do not smoke indoors. Regularly perform maintenance check on your gas tanks. Baka may mga leak dyan. So, prevention of gunfire injuries naman, although forbidden, based on law, up to the present times, there's still a lot of people who have guns, especially the police, the authorities, okay, who fire to the sky as part of the celebration of the New Year. So the falling back of the fired bullet from the sky into the ground is the main cause of gunfire injuries. When you talk about gunfire injuries during New Year Eve celebration. So to prevent injuries from this indiscriminate firing of guns into the sky or around New Year's Eve, one, stay indoor with sturdy roof. No? Of course, you have to report those who are doing it because bawal talaga yun. No? Okay. And prevention of firecracker injuries naman. In the Philippines, December has been declared as the Firecracker Injury Prevention Month since time immemorial. Every December, there's an anti-firecracker campaign to reduce injuries caused by the use of firecrackers and other pyrotechnic devices during the holiday celebrations. So the other day, nakikita ko may mga bagong posters na naman like this one, Firecracker Injury Prevention Month. To remind the people, Filipino people, of the mga health dangers from firecracker injuries. My advocacy on firecracker injuries, unnecessary firecracker injuries, as a surgical resident in the Philippine General Hospital from 1976 to 1981, that's 5 years, I have this group kasi every year-end, nag-duty kami, hindi kami umuwi. So I have this experience of seeing and treating patients with firecracker injuries every year end, every December 31. No? I will always ask myself out of frustration, when will they ever learn? So December 2010 to the first week of January 2021, I decided to put up a website entitled Unwanted Firecracker Injuries. So to maintain my advocacy against unnecessary firecracker injuries. The only thing that I can do to keep on reminding people on the risk of firecracker injuries and appeal to them to avoid. So up to now, I'm still doing this. Okay? Kasi meron pa, no? Although nabawasan na, no? Fortunately, as years go by, more cities have passed ordinances on firecracker ban. And fortunately, in 2017, there was an executive order number 28 providing for regulation and control of the use of firecrackers and other pyrotechnics devices. This EO 28 limits the use of firecrackers to community displays na. No? Okay. To minimize the risk of injuries and casualties, the use of firecrackers shall henceforth be confined to community fireworks displays. So this EO has reduced significantly the number of firecracker injuries in the Philippines, but there are still casualties not achieving zero incidents. Even up to last year, meron pa rin, no? Pero nabawasan na. So my advocacy, firecrackers and fireworks no doubt will be present in our midst because of the tradition. They will never be completely eliminated as they will continue to be used for celebrating milestones and occasion. But let the yung mga expert na lang in handling firecrackers do it na lang, no? Manood na lang tayo. To avoid unnecessary firecracker injuries, my recommendation is that firecrackers be sold to and used only by people trained and authorized to do the fireworks during the occasions, special occasions, and in safe places. The rest of the citizenry, like us, just watch na lang and enjoy the fireworks at a safe place and be protected from the firecracker injuries. So ito yung mga posters that you see before, yung mga nakakadiring, yung mga putol na kamay, no? Okay. And then may firecracker injuries to the eyes, no? Okay. Burns. Now, first aid management of firecracker injuries. Wash copiously with soap and water right away. So kung applicable to all parts of the body injured, pero usually there's a recommendation that you can just use water. Just yung soap kasi there are chemicals, it can impede wound healing. But you can use soap on the yung intact skin para matanggal yung mga dumi, no? Pero on the wound itself, just use water. And control profuse bleeding kung pag dumudugo, no? By applying pressure by a clean hand or bandages, no? Pag may dumudugo, pisilin ka agad o pressure on the bleeding area with kahit na kung wala kayong tuwalya, walang cloth, no? Or just use your clean hand, no? Okay. So it doesn't have to be sterile, basta malinis lang. Do it right away. If firecracker injuries are severe, seek consultation with physicians right away. Take pain medications as needed, such as paracetamol and NSAID. For example, of NSAID would be mefenamic acid. No? Mas malakas yung NSAID kaysa paracetamol. Kung kaya naman, paracetamol na lang muna. And antibiotics and anti-tetanus injections may be prescribed by physicians as indicated. So do not just take antibiotics by yourself. Just wait for the physicians to tell you whether you should take antibiotics or not. Baka linis lang, keep on washing it, pwede na. No? Prevention of burn injuries. There are 4 common types of burn injuries to the skin. Number 1, burn injuries not only to the skin but also to the whole body. Smoke inhalation, ito yung nakakamatay, no? Let's say kung may house fire, yung nakakulong sa bahay, yung nakakamatay yung smoke inhalation, not really the burns sa skin. Yun ang una, no? Then thermal contact is another cause of burn injuries, electrical equipment, chemicals can also cause burn injuries. So the focus of discussion today will be those caused by thermal contact, like fire, hot liquids, no, contact with hot surfaces. Prevention is basically avoidance with the fire. Kung fire usually fire ang pinaka-common cause, then hot liquids also a common cause, and hot surfaces. So be mindful and vigilant against this risk. First aid management. Let's start first with burn classification. There's such thing as superficial and then full thickness. No? So pag superficial, we classify it also in first, second degree. Okay? Sa inyo, just say, pwede nyo sabihin superficial, saka deep na lang. No? So ang translation of the degree of burns dito, kung yung first degree, yung epidermis lang, yung pinakamababaw, yung pinakabalat lang. Pero pagdating sa subcute, sa may mga taba-taba na, full thickness na yun. No? Okay. So ito yung illustration. Ito yung epidermis, mababaw lang. Ito yung dermis, ito yung hypodermis. No? Yung first degree burn, dito lang sa epidermis, mababaw. Pagdating sa second degree burns, mas malalim, maabot ng most likely part of junction of epidermis and dermis, and then sometimes the dermis kasama na, no? Okay. And then pagdating sa third degree burn, mas malalim pa, no? Kung saan kasama yung taba, no? Kasama yung muscle, no? Okay. Sometimes they classify it also into fourth degree, no? So the more extensive the burn, yung classification will be from 1 to 4, 1 to 3, 3 ang pinaka-extensive. So another illustration para mas makita ninyo in large ito yung superficial burn, epidermis, partial, intermediate. Usually, yung second degree, pag may blister na, second degree burn na yan. No? Pag yung parang sunburn lang, mapula-pula lang, walang blister, usually first degree. No? Then full thickness, mas malalim pa. Kung fourth degree, kasama yung muscle, sometimes even the bone. No? So, ito, first degree, second degree, may blisters. Ito, third degree, mababa, malalim. No? Now, we usually calculate in percentage of burns kung kailangan para to decide whether there's a need for fluid resuscitation. No? So there are two ways of classifying burns. One, we use the rule of nines. Meron kaming assignment dito. Sa face, 9%. Sa trunk will be 9%. Each side, 4.5. Then sa ito, extremities pala ito. Dito sa trunk naman, dito sa back, 18%. Sa front, 18%. Sa paa, 18%, 18%, and then dito sa may perineal area, 1%. 99% yon. Okay? Rule of 9. So sa bata, may konting variations lang. So we cannot remember this one. We just use the chart. No? Okay. So any patient with greater than 15% total body surface burn, non-superficial, no, should receive, hindi kasama yung first degree burn dito, usually deeper, no? Second degree burns or deeper. Yung mga first degree like sunburns, hindi kasama rito, no? So you should receive fluid resuscitation, usually suero ang kailangan. So kung kailangan yung suero, usually ina-admit sa hospital. So kung more than 50%, idali na lang yung sa hospital para mabigyan ng suero, no? So another easier way of remembering yung degree of burns is the use of the palmar method, no? Gagamitin lang yung itong palm, which is it's easier to remember, 1%, no? So use the patient's palm to measure the body surface area burn. The palm of the patient, hindi kasama yung fingers and wrist areas, is about 1% of the body surface areas. So, just use kung mahirap matandaan yung rule of 9, gamitin na lang yung kamay. Pwedeng yung kamay ng pasyente as a reference, no? You adjust na lang ninyo sa pasyente. You can use your palm, pero i-adjust niya. Baka malaki yung kamay ninyo compared to the palm of the patients, no? First aid management, wash the burn wound right away and for 20 minutes using tap water. Yung cold water lang. It doesn't have to be yung mga ice water, no? Okay. Yung medyo malamig lang konti, no? Ganon, no? Okay. As I said, kung superficial lang, no? Usually, you can use soap, no? But don't use soap dun sa may mga sugat, no? Okay. So the use and non-use of antibiotics, for first-degree burns, hindi kailangan yung antibiotics. For second-degree burns, superficial, usually no antibiotics then. So you give only the antibiotics only when there are signs of infection. Now for second-degree burns which are deep, no, mas malalim pa, and third-degree burns, then antibiotics are indicated. No? And then antibiotics can be topical as well as parenteral, yung mga ini-inject, no? Usually for third-degree burn injection na yun. But for second-degree burn, you can use mga topical ones, no? Ito. Then after that, i-bandage na lang ninyo, or kung maliit lang, you just expose it to the atmosphere. Huwag na i-bandage, but make sure that you keep on cleaning it as often as you can para malinis, no? Non-use or non-use of analgesics in burns, this will be indicated. This will be used only as needed. Kung kailangan lang. Kung tolerable pain, pwedeng wala. Intolerable pain, then take oral analgesics, usually paracetamol and sage. Kung masakit na masakit, yung malalim na then we give the narcotics ones, no? Like morphines. No? So don't apply ice. Huwag niyo ilalagay ng ice. This is common practice, ice. And then don't apply toothpaste. No? Pag may blisters, huwag niyo i-burst yung blisters kasi yung balat sa blister can serve as a temporary covering of the dressing of the burn. No? Then don't apply other home remedies. Ito yung naririnig ko palagi. No? Nilagay ng oil, egg, butter. No? Simple lang, just wash it with soap, with water, running water. Pwede na, no? Running water and then as often as you can. 2 times, 3 times a day, no? Okay. Summary takeaway, I have presented these various topics. New Year's Eve definition, common health dangers during New Year's Eve celebration, prevention of health dangers during the New Year Eve celebrations, the 5 common ones: vehicular accident, physical injuries from quarrels, and then abdominal gastrointestinal syndrome, heart syndrome, firecracker, gunfire injuries. Then I presented how to manage yung mga firecracker injuries as well as burn injuries. Takeaway in relation to patient empowerment: be always in touch with reliable medical information on New Year Eve health dangers. Knowledge is power, it gives power. Use the 4 Ks of patient empowerment: kaalaman, kakayanan, karapatan, kapangyarihan, to gain greater control over decisions and make better decisions on New Year Eve's dangers in your health management. So with that, I end my pep talk today. I hope I have empowered you to have an essential understanding of New Year Eve's health dangers in your health management. Before we go to the QA portion, reminder, please take the online learning evaluation test exercise for mastery of learning and have a perfect score to get a certificate like this one. I placed the link in the chat box. And then obtaining 25 OLETE certificates will entitle one mentee to a free voucher for a RO host on telemedical consultation or face-to-face consultation. Another request, please type in your feedback in the chat box during the open forum and before we adjourn. Thank you. Let's now have a group picture taking before we start the QA and interaction. Please turn on your video now and show your beautiful faces. Okay, get set. Who wants to be included in the picture? One, one, two, one, two, three. Let me save this one first. Okay. So the floor is now open for questions, comments, suggestions, no? Sharing of experiences as well. Okay. So I have simplified the health dangers into 5, yung pinaka-common ones. Yung vehicular accidents, tama ho ba? Marami pa rin na aksidente during the New Year season, no? Tama? Yes or no? Show your hands na lang. Paki-turn on na lang yung video niyo para merong makita ko yung mukha ninyo.
Yes.
Tama ba yung sinasabi ko? Marami pa rin may mga vehicular accident because of alcohol, no? Tama?
Yes.
Okay. Then the other one is yung mga away-away. Palaging may away, di ba? So may saksakan pa. Okay. Okay. So during baka may karaoke, tapos kakanta ng My Way, tapos patayan. Wala na ngayon, no? Okay. Number 3, yung mga gastrointestinal syndrome, yung mga abdominal syndrome kasi ang dami nating kinakain kaya sumasakit ang tiyan natin palagi, no? Okay. So iwas lang, no? Kasi pag sumakit ang tiyan sa daming pagkain, wala akong magagawa. Maghihintay ka na lang muna, no? Kahit na anong gamot ang ibigay sa iyo, no? You just have to wait until na lumabas yung toxin, yung mga kinain mo, no? Usually that will take about at least 2 days, 3 days depending kung anong gano'ng yung load ng mga toxins na kinain mo, no? Which is difficult to control, no? Kaya pag sumakit ang tiyan ko, wala na, nagsisisi na ako. Kaya I learned my lesson, kaya hindi ako makakain na masyadong marami. Kasi even as a doctor, I cannot control the pain. Okay. Then the other one is heart attack, yung mga heart syndrome. Usually, pag meron kayong mga sakit sa puso, wag kayo iinom ng marami, no? Yan ang pinakaano, no? Okay. Of course, the last one, sinong nagpa-firecracker, ano pa? Sinong nagpapaputok sa atin? Meron? Wala na. Wala na, no? Okay. So, I can remember, nagpaputok lang ako when I was a kid, baka once or twice lang. After that, hindi na. No? Hindi na ako nagpapaputok, no? Okay. Natakot na ako, baka putukan yung kamay ko, no? Okay. But we still hear of gunfire injuries. Last year meron pa, di ba? Okay. May konti pa, no? So kahit na bawal 'yon, no? No, bawal yung gunfire injuries, meron pa rin gumagawa, especially yung mga policemen, no, na may barel, no? Okay. Okay. Of course, burns is another risk because of the fireworks, no? Because of yung pag nakakain na, nakainom na, nakakalimutan yung mga safety ng sa bahay sa mga on fire safety, no? Okay. So, anything that you think that I should add as the common health problems during the New Year? Meron pa ba kayong naisip? Wala na? Kasi iniisip ko lang kasi wala akong nakitang gano'n na lecture eh. Ako, sinamarize ko lang yung 5, no? Okay. Okay. So mag-focus lang tayo dun sa 5, then probably at the end of during the new year and at the end of the new year, buong-buo pa yung katawan natin. We're all healthy in one piece, no? Okay. To start the new year right again, no? Umpisa tayo ng new year, no? Okay. So any questions, any comments? We have a new attendee dito, si Gerald Nava. Catherine. Any comment, Catherine? We want to hear your voice.
Wala na po, Doc.
Ha?
Wala na po.
Wala na?
Wala na.
Okay. May mga may dadagdag pa ka pa? May mga ano? Anong gagawin mo
Wala naman po, Doc.
Anong gagawin mo this New Year Eve?
Wala po. Kakain lang.
Kakain lang. Kakain lang. Tama, kakain. Pero ano, don't eat too much, no? Don't eat too
Yes
much.
po.
Hindi ka naman umiinom, di ba? Hindi ka umiinom.
Oh.
Okay. That's good. Okay. Sige. Sino pa? Senny, anong gagawin mo this Christmas Eve? Ah,
Sa lugar po namin, every year, problema namin yung fireworks. Kasi harapan po kami ng basketball court. Every year, dinadasal namin, sana umulan ng malakas pag New Year's Eve.
oo nga. Gusto ko nga umuulan sa New Year's Eve.
Kasi nakakaproblema din po, lalo po sa mga bata, sa mga apo ko, yung usok, tapos yung ingay po masyado ng mga paputok.
Yeah. Okay. Pero for the past 10 years, past 10 years, palaging umuulan na sa ano, no? Pero dati-dati hindi siya
Ayun
masyado.
nga, kaya natutuwa po kami doon.
Yeah, ako nga mas gusto ko yung umuulan no? Okay. Para number one, basa ang bubong mo. Number two, yung mga nagpapaputok, medyo ano, umiiwas na magpapaputok kasi umuulan, di ba? Okay. Okay. That's good. So, Noche Buena na lang. Pero ano, eat in moderation, no? Jeng, ikaw, darating ba si Mr.?
Hindi po, dito pa ako sa kapatid ko sa Cavite. Usually din lang po, kain lang po kami dito, Dok.
Ha?
Kasi ano din po gang may mga bata kami, iniiwasan din po talaga namin yung mga paputok. Tsaka yun nga po, less din ang pagkain kasi gabi na, mahirap pong mabusog
Yeah.
yung para mag-digest pa. Kaya siguro po yung mga bata okay lang, pero kami pong medyo kami magkakapatid may edad na hindi na pa masyadong nakain ng madami.
Yeah.
Mahirap yung
Yeah. Pwede ba palitan yung timing ng pagkain, handaan? Usually kasi
kaya
S2 kakain na marami, tapos tutulog na kagad. No?
opo, kaya nga po eh. Kasi yun na po yung nakagaugalian natin yung after ng mass, tapos magkaka-down sa kakakain.
Oo nga no? Okay. Sige. Ako, kumakain lang ako maaga, mga 8:00, kumakain na ako. After that, ano na lang,
Hindi na kayo nakain.
maghintay na lang 12:00, countdown. After that, tulog na ulit. Okay. O kaya meron kaming mga salus, parang I call it Zoom mustahan every December 31. Online, parang Zoom.
Opo, parang ganito.
Kanya-kanyang kainan sa bahay, kanya-kanyang ano, pero Zoom kami, nag-exchange kami ng update. Anong nangyari sa pamilya niyo? Ganon, no? Ganon. So aside from the Cancer Crusaders Club, meron akong may Zoom mustahan sa lahat ng mga pamilya ko, no? Sa mga kapatid ko, no? Kasi yung mga kapatid mo, mahirap naman na i-gather them together in one place, di ba? So, pero
Kami po kasi, Dok, apat lang kami magkakapatid. Kaya po, usually talaga, magkakasama po kami lahat dito sa Cavite.
Okay. Siyempre, yung asawa niya naka-Zoom on that day.
Oo, siya lang po ang wala.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else would like to share? Mayan, anong gusto mong i-share? Meron ka pa bang marami kang kapatid, di ba, Mayan?
Opo, Dok. Nasa abroad po eh.
Oo,
Yung dalawa.
So, paano ka nag-celebrate ng New Year? Magsa-celebrate?
Naka-Zoom po kami parang kasayo po. Eksakto po yun. Kasi iba yung oras po nila dun eh. Kaya kung ano oras po yung gising nila,
Yeah,
sinasabay lang namin.
yeah, may magpupuyat talaga kung sa Zoom.
Opo.
Mm. Konting sacrifice lang, no? Okay.
Opo nga. Misa lang mangyari naman in a year.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? Pat? Patricia? Paano ka nagsa-celebrate ng New Year, Patricia? Espino?
Kain lang kami.
Ha?
Kakain lang po.
Kain lang. Okay.
Opo. Tapos manood ng fireworks. Tapos tulog na.
Manood. Tama yun. Manood lang. Okay. Saan? Sa bahay? Nanonood kayo sa bahay?
Opo.
Okay. Okay. Tama, wag na kayong lumabas. Sa bahay na lang. No? Yung iba kasi lumalabas pa, no? Manonood ng
Oo nga
fireworks.
eh. Opo. Sa bubong na lang.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else who wants to share? Bago tayo magtapos ng New Year, ito last pep talk natin for this year. We will resume first Saturday of 2026. 2026 na. Okay. So, if there are no more questions, I would like to greet everybody. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and wish you all the best for next year. Okay?
Merry Christmas.
Happy
Happy
holidays
po.
Likewise,
Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.
Merry Christmas din po sa inyo lahat. Happy New
Merry
Year.
Christmas po, Doc. Sa
Bye-bye.
lahat.
Merry Christmas.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
Oo.